It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
Welcome back, everybody, to Inside the Force. I am your co-host, David Cottingham. With me always, Casey Cooley.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. This is Inside the Force, a podcast exploring the galaxy far, far away.
Yeah. That's going to be killer to see that in episode 7.
Oh, man. Cannot wait. Got some news on that front here today on this episode. But we are wrapping up Rebel Alliance month with our final entry into this. And we've hit on the three creators of basically what's called the Corellian Treaty, as Casey will dive into here in a minute. But right now on this episode, we are going to just hit on the Alliance itself, kind of the battle tactics that they used, the chain of command that they had, all that kind of stuff that you might not know about. Then we'll dive into some news, as we said, with episode 7 and some other Star Wars related news. Then do some trivia and then tease next month because we've got a whole other topic. Is that what it is called? Topic or
for next month? Theme?
Theme. Thank you. That's what I was thinking. And a whole other theme that we're going to introduce and tease you on. But first, you can check us out at InsideTheForce.com, where you can listen to all of our podcasts, as well as follow us and register or subscribe to our iTunes or our RSS feed right there. You can follow us on Twitter at InsideTheForce. I am at DCottingham21. Casey Cooley is at Kryptonian1138.
Yes.
And we are going to get right into this. This is episode 14, Restore the Republic, because that's what the Alliance was brought together to do. Restore the Republic. They're also known as Restore Freedom to the Galaxy, Rebel Alliance, known as Rebels, Rebel Scum by the Galactic Empire. So, Case, give us a little brief history of how we got to this point in the last 3 weeks.
Okay. Here we go. Right now. Well, it starts, I guess, really the Rebel Alliance, sort of like, not the organized Rebel Alliance, but the first talkings of the rebellion started, and if you've listened for this month, you've heard this before, started with the delegation of the 2000.
In fact, just pause it and go back and listen to them all. No.
And now that you have done that, I don't have to say anything.
That's right.
But I'm going to say a little bit about it. This happened right before Emperor Palpatine became Emperor, and before Order 66 and the Jedi Purge started. Before all of that happened, some of the 2,000 of the senators signed this petition that asked Palpatine to relinquish some of his emergency powers, because this group of senators felt that he was getting too much power, that all of his new policy changes and just a lot of the differences that Palpatine was making because of the Clone Wars, it was basically demeaning the tradition and the values of the Republic. It was making it an authoritarian state, basically.
Right.
And they saw signs of Palpatine making himself a dictator. They didn't want that, so they politely asked him to please, give up your emergency powers and restore the true power to the Senate. And they asked him this. They had this petition,
and basically end the war. Also,
yeah, pretty much. And this Palpatine said no. And so that was the end of that. And so that kind of just got pushed aside for a little while. Then, as we know, what happened in episode 3. This is actually, as we said before, the senators coming together and creating this petition and giving it to Palpatine. This was in episode 3 as a deleted scene. So you can watch this deleted scene on the Blu-ray or DVD, and you will see this actually happen, but it was cut from the movie. But this happened. The delegation of the 2000 is canon, and that kind of started the rumblings, the talkings of maybe we should kind of rise up against Palpatine because he's becoming too much of a tyrant. So Palpatine became Emperor, and the Empire was established, but we still don't have the Rebel Alliance as we know from the movies. We have basically what are the different planets, the three main planets being Alderaan, Chandrila, and Corellia, and a couple other planets in this galaxy have their own pocket resistance groups, and they are having kind of covert missions and insurrections against the Empire. They're very under the radar, very reconnaissance-like, nothing out of the blue, nothing open. The Rebel, I don't know what the best word, but the sort of Rebel Alliance at this point is not in the open. There's just kind of rumors, and the Empire's kind of pushing it under the radar, like I just said, because they don't want, I guess, more people to join the rebellion. And before, the delegation of the 2000 that I just mentioned, those senators that were a part of that are now being hunted down because the Empire, they have absolute total control. The Emperor has control of the whole galaxy. So he is taking extreme measures against these senators who have kind of went against the Emperor's wishes. So he's hunting down these people, and some of them are withdrawing their support because they don't want to be killed, and also because of fear of what can happen to their own planet. Because right when the Emperor started the Empire, basically, he had the Empire attack Kashyyyk, and they killed tons of Wookiees, and they enslaved the planet, basically. And a lot of the senators saw this and were scared, so they dropped their support of the delegation of the 2000, and those that didn't were basically targeted and killed, except for Bail Organa, Bela Bliss, and Mon Mothma, and some other ones that kind of either withdrew their support or just went into hiding. Mon Mothma and Bela Bliss, as we said before, later on down the road, did go into hiding because they were very open about their disapproval of the Empire, whereas Bail Organa kind of went along with the Empire. On the surface, he was very supportive of the Empire. He would say yes, yes, and all these things, but underneath it all, he was organizing these rebellions against the Empire. So you have a lot of this deception going on. But it really, the Rebel Alliance, they had the delegation of the 2000 kind of starting its talks, but something that really sparked more of a unity before it actually became the Rebel Alliance was something that happened on the planet Gorman. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah, Gorman. This happened, I'm trying to find the year, maybe you can help me out here. Can't find 18 BBY around that time.
It was about a year after episode 3.
So pretty soon. So I mean, I guess it's pretty soon happened. It's going on. The Empire, they're raising taxes on all these planets, and they raise the taxes, and they do like embargoes and all these things on the planet Gorman to basically put it in debt. And they, the people of Gorman hate these taxes. They are openly rebuking the Empire, and they have protests against the Empire. So in order to stop this protest, the Emperor sends Moff Wilhuff Tarkin. He's just a Moff at this point, who will become Grand Moff Tarkin. Just a Moff. He takes a ship going to the planet to kind of stop the protests. Well, the people of Gorman are on the landing platform where Tarkin is going to land, protesting. It's basically like, Free Tibet, they're standing in front of the bulldozer kind of thing. So they're standing on the landing platform, preventing Tarkin from landing. Well, that doesn't stop Tarkin. Instead, he lands the ship right on the platform, killing hundreds of Gormans. And it is called the Gorman Massacre because of that reason. And it really sent a jolt across the galaxy. People, most of them are now even more in fear of the Empire, and therefore are succumbing to the Empire's ruling with an iron fist. They're falling in line even more now because they don't want to be killed.
Through fear.
Exactly, through fear. That's the whole power of the Empire is ruling through fear. Mm-hmm. And whereas the small pocket small pocket of resistance. They are now seeing this Gorman Massacre event and say, well, we really do have to form some sort of alliance to defeat the Empire. But there's still no unity. It's still very disorganized at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start to see appearances of some new leaders coming into the Empire, like Jan Dondana, who becomes General Dondana, as we know in the original movies. Other people, Gail Akbar, who becomes a prison, then he gets freed by the resistance. Then I think that happens later on, though. But the real and there's little other little battles happening throughout the time because the stormtroopers are being sent across, killing all these resistance pockets. Where like on Kamino, because as I said again, there's no unity. It's all individual resistance pockets. There's a little bit of a rebellion on the planet Kamino, where the cloners have created their own little clone army to fight the Empire. So there's right there is a little rebellion on Kamino, but the stormtroopers come, kill the army, not destroy, but like basically enslave Kamino, and it's because of this the Emperor changes the basically because at this point still the Empire is still supplied by a bunch of clones. So it's from this one template from the Jango Fett cloning template, because all the clones are Jango Fett clones. Mm-hmm. It's because of this resistance on Kamino, the Emperor decides to use different cloning templates and incorporate non-clone people into the Empire. So he's starting to phase out the clones and bringing more humans into the Empire. That's just a little nugget there for you. But in addition to this kind of resistance on Kamino, we get a resistance on Mustafar, because there is a Genosian war criminal who survived the Clone Wars, went to Mustafar, and created his own army of battle droids to fight the Empire. So there's another kind of resistance pocket that was also destroyed by the stormtroopers, and not just any stormtroopers, but the 501st. These are the elites, the stormtroopers that are going around killing all these little pockets of resistance. So those are so at this point the sort of rebels are not really having any success, and then some further other battles here and there, nothing serious. But Darth Vader has a new apprentice now. He has, but now it's since the beginning of the end of the Clone Wars, basically on the Battle of Kashyyyk. Darth Vader found a young Jedi child, Galen Merrick, who we know is Starkiller from Force Unleashed. Vader raised him and trained him in the Sith ways, and used him as his elite Sith kind of assassin. He went around killing Jedi and other resistance leaders.
Right. So
Vader uses Starkiller, and we know this in Force Unleashed too. He uses Starkiller to unite the resistance leaders from across the galaxy, and the plan is to bring these leaders together to form. He basically is pushing these resistance leaders to form a rebel alliance to bring them out of hiding. So he not only can squash them, but I actually read this and I forgot this, but he also wants the Rebel Alliance to come out of hiding so the Emperor can focus his attention on defeating the rebels, so Vader can therefore assassinate the Emperor. So Vader's got this whole plan going on. He wants the rebels to come out of hiding, so the Emperor did that, so he can kill the Emperor, so Vader can become the ruler of the galaxy. So that's little shady dinglings.
Yes.
But what happens, it does happen successfully, the Rebel Alliance is formed on Corellia, and we find this on 2BBY, is that right?
Yep.
2BBY, on the Corellian Treaty.
Mm-hmm.
This is what Galen Merrick, Starkiller, forces to happen. He brings Garm Bella Bliss, Bail Organa, Mon Mothma, and even Princess Leia comes in as a hologram, but she's still there, part of it.
General Coda.
General Coda's there, the Jedi, and then it's in Corellia, and there's these temples in the mountains where the Rebel Alliance officially becomes organized and becomes basically a united force against the Empire. And this happens to BBY, and it's in that event also where, if you play The Force Unleashed, which you said bunches of times, where Vader comes, captures the Rebel leaders, and takes them to the Death Star, and all that crazy stuff happens. Go play Force Unleashed.
Now, wasn't he at that point though? Wasn't Starkiller really good?
That's what is.
Because he had already been betrayed. Because remember, he found all these Jedis, killed them,
yeah,
and then that's when the Emperor discovers him.
Okay, yeah.
And Vader kills him by throwing him out, but then brings him back to life as a clone.
Yeah.
And
Force Unleashed 2.
no, I'm sorry, not as a clone. No, in the first
Yeah.
Force
Yeah.
Unleashed brings him back to life, and then he, as Starkiller, that he finds out that that Juno girl is the girl he's kind of caring about is captured or whatever for treason as well.
Yeah, well, this happens in the second game.
No, this is all the first game.
You sure?
Because I never played
Yeah.
the second game yet.
Okay.
So then he goes and gets her, and then to get back at Vader is when he goes and gets all these people together. But it was basically what they planned all along.
Yeah.
And Vader then apparently kills him, but he doesn't kill him. And then that's when he's like, I got to go save him. Then he shows up in the Death Star.
Yeah.
So I think at that point he's
good.
He's actually doing what they want
Yeah.
him to do, but he's doing it in the intention of trying to fight the Empire.
Yeah, it's a lot of
That's why, because that's
crazy.
why they actually take, they contribute him as being the one that actually formed it, and they take his family crest.
Yeah, and I forgot that too. They had because that's what exactly right. When after they go to the Death Star, Galen Merrick sacrifices himself to let the rebel leaders escape, and that's what happens. And then they go to Kashyyyk, Galen Merrick's home where he was born, where they decide to use his family crest as the Imperial symbol that we all know from the movies. And that is canon. That really happened. So that is fact. That's what
that
happened.
was a huge shock playing that game.
Yeah.
Huge shock.
So that is up until the point of the movies, and there's nothing. It doesn't. I couldn't read it when exactly this happened, but there's another kind of document besides the Corellian Treaty that helped the rebellion, and it's called the Declaration of the Rebellion, and this is something that was drafted together by Mon Mothma, and it was given. Where is it? To BBY. I'm guessing probably after the Corellian Treaty. Yeah, after the Corellian Treaty. Basically
presented in the Senate.
I think it was. Let me try to figure this out here. No, I don't think it was presented in the Senate. It was just kind of like a document that was just, I guess, given out throughout the
formal
galaxy.
document.
Yeah, just given out across the galaxy, saying we are the
There is a
Rebel Alliance.
rebellion, yeah.
and we will defeat the Empire, kind of stuff. And you can read the full text on Wikipedia here. It's pretty funny. And there's even a picture of the signing of the Declaration that is very similar to the signing of the United States. Like all the delegates around the table there.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's so funny. But I mean, I'm guessing it's canon, or maybe it's EU canon or something like that. But that's another kind of little small document that's pretty interesting that I didn't know about. And there's little things here and there. There's some other tiny little battles and stuff like that are pretty interesting. But the main events is what I just hit on. And there are that's basically the history of the rebellion as we know it, as it is canon until proven different by the movies, by the show Rebels. So there you go.
Yes. Yeah, I'm looking it up. So so he was. Yeah, Starkiller basically Starkiller was betrayed by Vader. And you remember he was sucked out into space, but then he was collected and rebuilt almost a little bit.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Put back together, and then Vader, was like, you got to be secret now.
Yeah.
That's when you go and kill everybody. You kill the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
That's when you go out and because you can't be detected at all.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And what really won the approval of Starkiller to the for the rebel leaders is that part in the game where I forgot what planet he's on, but he takes down the Star Destroyer. Like they're kind of like prove your loyalty to us because you're a Sith. So Starkiller, if you haven't played the game, this is awesome. It's in the trailer, I think, too.
Yes.
The game. But you with the Force, there's a Star Destroyer that's kind of, I guess, in the atmosphere of this planet, and Starkiller uses the Force and pulls it down into the planet's surface and destroys it. It's insanely awesome. But
actually, it says right here. Vader says, and I remember now from the game. But Vader tells him because Starkiller was like, "You betrayed me," and he's like, "No, we had to fake your death because I realized that me and you can't take the Emperor ourselves.
Yeah.
You have to raise an army."
Yeah,
and that's when he goes and gets the Rebel Alliance, even though that's what they want him to do. I mean, it's a very clever twist because there's basically two betrayals in the same game. Because I never played the you played the second game, which is very short. Apparently,
it's very short,
right?
and doesn't really have anything to do much with the Rebel
Right.
Alliance. It's just Starkiller's Vendetta.
And it's his clone, I think, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, so we get to basically what we get to is now the Alliance is formally formed.
Yeah.
And what we don't know much about because of the movies is actually they did form a government. It was, unlike the Separatists, the first time, I guess, because this is like the second galactic civil war within the last 20 or so years, with the Clone Wars and everything. But like the Separatists basically were just, I guess, similar in a sense where they had, separate worlds that were seceding from the Republic, but they weren't really structured in a sense. I mean, Count Dooku was really kind of the leader, and he basically told everybody what to do, and he had a General Grievous to go out there and act as military force. But the Alliance actually formed a government, a civil government, and at the head of that government was the person we hit on last week, was Mon Mothma, who was elected as chief of state, is what they called basically the head of the Rebel Alliance. Now, bear no mistake that this is basically an elected dictatorship in a sense. She had she had virtually unlimited power over the Alliance, and we hit on that with Garm Bale Bliss, how he had a major problem with that in a sense, because he felt like once the Empire got overthrown, that she was just going to basically become Empress. But like I said, there was a structured government here that would have prevented that to happen. So you had the chief of state, and then to help her out, and to make sure that she doesn't have ultimate power, ultimate power. She had unlimited power, but there was an advisory council, and that advisory council was composed of representatives from 7 alliance governments. So, and they were given, and they were from basically the most that basically provided the most battles, or survived the most battles and engaged the Empire the most. So basically, the 7 highest, biggest ones, I guess, became her advisory council, and their primary responsibility was approving or disapproving the proposals of Mon Mothma, the chief of state. And they had the ability to dismiss the chief of state by a 2/3 majority vote if they felt like he or she was abusing the power or whatever, right? So they had the ability to, which kind of confused me a little bit, that Garm Bale Bliss still didn't have that much confidence in her, because she had these councils. But so anyway, there was a council with her. Then she had an alliance cabinet, which she actually selected herself, based on people's devotion, intelligence, ability, and whatnot. But she had 6 members of this cabinet: the Minister of Finance, Minister of Education, Minister of State, Minister of Industry, Minister of Supply, and Minister of War. So all of them had different responsibilities, obviously. Finance overseed the funds, education maintained intelligence, and overseed the propaganda. The Ministry of State handled relations with non-member governments. Industry controlled the factories and production, supply chain for the military forces, and then of course the Minister of War advised on the tactics and military battle forces for the Alliance. So again, detailed government. Then you had what was called the Allied Commands, which were individual governments of the world, organizations and groups that were members of the Alliance. So basically it was just
Don't do like smaller versions,
almost
planets.
Correct, yeah. Basically smaller versions of that's good explanation, because I was trying to figure out how to say that right. But that's exactly right. And then you had the Alliance military, obviously, which is basically charged with defeating the battles that they engaged with the Empire. So that was basically how the governing body of the Rebel Alliance worked. So So we really had two separate governments going at one time, in a sense, during basically slightly 2 years before episode 4 through basically until the Emperor got dethroned in episode 6, Return of the Jedi. So you had this main structure. Mon Mothma was the first and only basically chief of state. Now and it was said that that position would be abolished when the Emperor is disposed of. So that was part of the deal. So as soon as the Emperor got overthrown, bam, we go back to forming the Republic, in a sense. I found this, and there was an interesting quote here by this guy named Voren Nal. He was a human, actually. But there's this quote, a good quote here, basically saying that the alliance was structured to wage war, not rule in peace.
Yeah.
It was a benign dictatorship empowered to lead a rebellion, not govern a galaxy, which is very much so what it did. Now, there were some interesting, so as far as segueing into the military part of it, there were actually some specific battle tactics that the alliance used in order to even compete against the Empire, because, I mean, let's not mistake it, the Empire was huge-ass Star Destroyers.
They have the numbers.
Yes, they have huge numbers. And what the Rebel Alliance had to rely on was tactics, because they couldn't just fight and go after them and do this. So one of the ones they had, some of the battle tactics I'll hit on here, one was called the Akbar Slash.
Yeah.
Of course, you know who came up with that one.
I've got a new plan. The Akbar Slash.
Yeah.
It's not a trap. Yeah. Not yet. It's a trap for them.
Yeah. So basically what this tactic was, which I guess we can, if you really think about it, I guess they used it somewhat in episode 6.
I guess.
Even though...
Carefully watch, maybe. I don't know.
Even though Akbar was kind of against it, you remember? So when Lando says, let's engage the Star Destroyers point blank range, right? So what this tactic is that, like we said, the Empire wanted to just use numbers.
Yeah.
Just send every ship they had into the battle. So what they would do, being, a smaller amount of ships, they would send all of their ships basically right in the center.
The rebels will do this.
Yes,
Right, yeah.
the rebels, of all of these Star Destroyers.
Yeah.
So basically what that caused them to do is they would not be able to shoot at them because they would basically be in the crossfires.
Yeah, because you have the Star Destroyers are like basically one line straight across, left to right, and you have the rebels right up the middle. So it's like
in between each one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So then whenever they'd shoot, the shots that they would miss, then they would hit each other.
Yeah.
Because they pointed out that they believed in numbers. They didn't believe in shield and quality.
Yeah.
So they didn't have the best shields.
Yeah.
They just sent out the most, whereas the rebels had really high shielded ships,
Yeah,
so they can withstand a lot of power, or a lot of blasts.
The X-wings more advanced, basically.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. And the Star Destroyers weren't actually, as you can see, it wasn't that hard to destroy Star Destroyers. They basically just blow up that field generator, and then boom, they can destroy anything. So, but so that was a very called the Akbar Slash. Basically, they just travel down the middle, shoot out the Star Destroyers, and whatever one, like I said, if they did decide to shoot at them, they would basically shoot each other because of the missing. So then they had what's called the Rogue Doctrine, which actually was designed by Luke Skywalker and Burrell Chiffalage.
Yep, got it. Nailed it.
Yeah. So, they designed that on Echo Base on Hoth. So, that's basically the formation they used whenever they were attacking the AT-ATs.
Right.
That was which was basically what was called the, within that was attack pattern Delta, which they he yelled it in Empire.
Right.
And that's when if you notice, they're actually flying in single file line when they're attacking so basically to protect the, when the AT-ATs was firing at them, they couldn't fire at them anyone they wanted. There was only one basically they can see. Yeah. So until they got close enough, then they split off and then would attack. So that was the attack pattern Delta. That was basically the description of that. It was a would attack single file line, and then break off when they got close. Let's see they had one called the Bantha decoy, which then the harpoon and tow cables was, that was a tactic for taking down AT-ATs that they used. Another one real quick was called the scissors technique. Now this is really weird because I want to feel like Anakin somewhat did this in episode 3 almost, when those missiles were coming at him.
The spinning thing?
Almost. I mean,
yeah.
So
You could say that,
it's basically
maybe.
like, when you're in a dogfight and you got a TIE fighter on you, you basically just
It's like a serpentine kind of thing.
almost
You're going like
in a-
zigzag.
yeah,
and, like,
you're,
but twirling
you're doing
and
a
spinning.
spiral basically.
Yeah.
You're going in a spiral to just cause them to go into twists and
Yeah.
then hopefully I think is basically it consisted of sharp turns, twisting turns, until basically what would happen was you would do that. Well, as I said to Mike, you would do that until the attacker would basically fly over you.
Yeah.
And then you would be behind them, and then you can take them down. So now I know Anakin kind of did he just did
Yeah.
kind of a twist and
It's-
made the
yeah.
missiles kind of blow up each
Well,
other.
it says it's a very hard maneuver to actually do
Very
well.
hard.
Like,
Yeah, very hard.
it's all timing and all that.
And then the last one I'll talk about here came from episode 4, but it came from the battle on the first Death Star, which was they named the trench run defense.
Right.
So because of the success of Luke Skywalker, obviously, which I guess many would attribute that actually being because of the Force, not really because of his ability in there, although he was an excellent pilot. But because of that success, they started, the Rebel pilots, they started using that technique in a sense where they would, if they engaged a Star Destroyer or if they came about, they would actually get really close and maneuver within the trenches because even Star Destroyers have little trenches because they're so massive. But they would get, they would get close, and then it'd be hard for TIEs or guns from the starship, obviously, to fire on them. So they would use that as a defense and survive, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that's the kind of the techniques they used as far as in battles with. Now, real quick, the last thing we want to kind of talk about is some other major members, because we basically hit on the 3 that formed
Right.
the Alliance. Again, we'll say it again: Bail Organa from Alderaan, Garm Bail Iblis from Corellia, and then Mon Mothma from Chandrila. Were basically the Corellian Treaty. Those were the 3. Mothma supplied the troops. Iblis, basically the artillery, the ships, and all that stuff, and then Organa was the money man. He's rich. So he funded basically the Alliance. But you had, obviously, there's a cool picture of here on Wikipedia of Gail Akbar.
Yeah.
Admiral Akbar. He was supreme commander of the Alliance fleet. He's sitting here with the 3 of them, which is pretty cool.
I want to know if that's just a cool picture someone made, or if that is in a book or something. Because
I think all of these are book illustrations.
because Bail Organa's there and Akbar's there, and they're looking at an X-wing. So I want to know what time that took place.
I
Couldn't find the source of it.
Yeah, I would say something. Obviously, I wouldn't guess, but maybe 5 to 10 years before Episode 4.
Yeah.
That's what I would think.
Yeah.
Of course, you had Wedge Antilles, who was part of that. I'm naming people that you would obviously know, but Ram Koda was basically the first Jedi that was part of it. Casey mentioned he was at the Corellian Treaty. He was recruited by Starkiller to be the kind of the Jedi representative of the Rebel Alliance until Obi-Wan tried to get summoned from
Right.
hiding. And then so Galen Merrick, Starkiller basically was one of the founders. Now this is interesting because I don't know if we want to get into it, but did you mention the Ferris Olin Jedi?
Ferris Olin, yeah. From when we talked about Obi-Wan Kenobi, I think we mentioned him.
Yeah,
Because he was Obi-Wan's former apprentice. I think.
oh, okay, that's right.
I think.
That's right.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Well, he was an early founder, but he was killed by Vader.
Yeah. He might be just one of the ones that, had the predecessors of actually forming a rebellion. So I'm not sure.
So there was, obviously those are some. I mean, there's some names I can name, but no one would, unless you really dive into them. We won't.
Yeah, there's one character that I just want to honorably mention from Expanding Universe who kind of hate to love. So if you know Boris Kfalia, he's a Bothan. He was a political advisor, I guess, during the rebellion, but he became chief of state after Mon Mothma.
Oh, really?
And, it was like, I think we mentioned this earlier. It was like Mon Mothma, then it was Leia, then it was like back and forth between Leia and then this guy, Boris Kfalia. Then, but he became chief of state, and he, if you haven't read the Expanding Universe, he's awesome in the New Jedi Order, but he has a cool part in the New Jedi Order. But he's a cool guy. I like him.
You like him. So do I. And what we know of up until, I guess, episode 7 comes out, the Alliance basically comes to an end after episode 6. And the formation of the New Republic is then created, which I'm assuming if it goes by the Expanded Universe, they eventually elect a new Supreme Chancellor.
Well, I think they keep the chief of state.
They do?
In the books. I think he's basically the Supreme Chancellor, but I think they still call it the chief of state. I'm pretty sure that's how they kept it. But I don't think there's a Senate. I can't remember if there was a Senate at all in the Expanded Universe. I could be wrong on that, but
yeah, I think they formed the Senate again.
I think they did.
Yeah,
and then,
but see, here's the thing: though, is there's a
They're on Coruscant though. It should be at least.
Here's the thing: is that I can't remember what they called it, but there was a transition period.
Yeah,
that they called the government something else. I think it was the Galactic Alliance. Is that what it was?
Maybe. Yeah, that sounds kind of.
And then they changed it to the New Republic.
Yeah,
I think once the Republic got reestablished.
And I'll try to look this up.
Yeah, quick. I think there was a time period there where there was a transition for several years of.
There was a chief of state, chair of the Senate. So there was a Senate. Yeah, executive branch. So there's a chief of state. There's a Senate. And there were some other councils. There's Alliance cabinet. Yeah.
Was that's the Alliance government you're looking at?
Yeah, the New Republic era.
Oh, the New Republic era.
Yeah, let me look at the Galactic.
See, I think there was a Galactic Alliance either after the New Republic or before. I think it was
probably before.
I think it was.
I
think it was before.
Galactic Alliance, Galactic Federation of Free Alliance, also called the Galactic Alliance. It was let's see. This this could be like another whole podcast.
I know. This should probably.
Wait! I think this is after.
Yeah, I was starting to think maybe it was after
28 ABY.
Yeah,
so way.
Eventually,
after.
It became the Galactic Alliance. Then.
Yeah, and it was after Yuuzhan Vong War, I believe, or during the Yuuzhan Vong War. So way far after.
So it became the New Republic right after, basically, right after they took over. I think, right?
Yeah.
They established the New Republic. So Chief of State did stick.
Yeah,
the New Republic was the name of the galactic government established by their alliance to replace the Galactic Empire. Yeah,
cool. Yeah, there you go.
So,
and their symbol's is a bit different than the Galactic Alliance. Is a little bit different from the New Republic. It's different from the crest of Galen Merrick. It's like similar, but
yeah, it's got the stars around it
a little more. Yeah, I'm looking at this one though. When the Galactic Alliance comes.
Oh yeah, that's the Galactic Alliance. Yeah, this is the New Republic.
Yeah.
They basically adopted the Rebel Alliance symbol.
Yeah.
And just added a bunch of stars around it.
Yeah.
and then that's the New Republic. So that's, we really can't get too much into that because a lot of that we don't know if canon or not.
Right.
We'll know once episode 7 comes around.
I would think that they would have kept the Republic symbol. I don't think they would have changed it.
You don't think so?
In the movies, I don't know.
I think they might. I think they might get rid of it.
Oh.
The Galactic, the Empire.
Yeah.
Because that didn't change much once it went from the old Republic to the Galactic Empire. I mean, it's pretty
symbol,
much the same symbol.
Yeah, well, the rebellion symbol.
True.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I think they're gonna.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna throw out the Imperial logo.
Yeah. And go with
this.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna stick. I
don't know if they're gonna do the stars thing of like the newer in the books. Like I think they'll just keep the one that we know from the original movies.
So there wasn't anything in between, I guess.
Don't
the Galactic
think so.
The New Republic was founded on the same principle as the old Galactic Republic. Yeah, I think it was. It went from basically Empire to New Republic. So anyway, like I said, we can't get too much into that because we don't know if that's canon.
Yep.
But anyway, that is the Rebel Alliance, and thank the stars for them because we are not ruled by the Empire anymore.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 members, the major members, founding members, and that is the organization that has brought freedom back to the Republic.
Yeah.
And it took a long time. Basically, it took 20-something years to officially get formed and officially defeat the Empire. So anyway, we'll reveal kind of what we're going to get into next month. But first, let's get some news out of the way.
News.
What we got? What's going on?
I'll hit on some little things and go with the big news, which hopefully you've all heard already. But some little things. I want to congratulate the Clone Wars TV show for winning 2 Emmys, daytime Emmys. Or just one was daytime. I don't know. 2 Emmys this past week.
Daytimes.
One for just the Clone Wars as a whole. Clone Wars wins a daytime Emmy for Outstanding Special Class Animated Program. So basically, just one of the big things, I guess. I don't know what is actually the big. I don't know what the big Emmy award is. I don't know if that's the biggest
Outstanding Series, probably.
Outstanding Series. So this is one of the, I guess, for animated programs. This one's the bee's knees. And David Tennant, actor David Tennant, who you all should know from Doctor Who. He was in one of the Harry Potter movies. He guest starred on the Clone Wars as Huyang, who was the Jedi training droid who helped the younglings build their lightsabers and all that stuff. He was in a few episodes. I can't remember exactly how many. But he won an Emmy for Outstanding Performer in an Animated Program. So those are the 2 Emmys that Clone Wars won. So I want to congratulate them. They would have won more if there were more seasons. I'm sure of it. So, but we won't know because they're canceled. So, moving on. Mark Hamill has been announced to come to Celebration Europe 2, which is in Germany in June. When is it? It's in July, right?
Yeah, July. Yeah, a couple weeks.
Celebration Europe 2 in Germany, Mark Hamill will be there. So if you are going, which you are darn lucky if you are, if you're going, you'll see him. Maybe he'll talk about episode 7. That'd be awesome.
Yes.
So, moving forward, also another congratulations is in order for George Lucas, who this past Saturday, June 22nd, married his longtime girlfriend, fiance, Melody Hobson. So they got married at Skywalker Ranch. And it was presided over Bill Moyers, who's a PBS correspondent. Which is really strange. I don't know. But anyways, congratulations to George Lucas. A much deserved victory in life, getting married. So, congratulations.
Congratulations, George.
Yes. You and Melody
His
Hobson.
son, Jet, served as his best man.
Really? That's awesome. That's really cool.
I read that, yeah.
Hope they have a very successful life together.
Yep.
And the big
and for people that for some reason think that she married him for his money, she's actually got a lot of money.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Oh well, they're probably the richest married couple in the world.
Yeah, probably. She's a big financial person. That is huge money.
That's awesome.
He married her for her money, I think. No,
they look cute together.
They're great together. Yeah.
There's actually she was on Oprah for her one of her programs on the O channel, the O network. George Lucas was, and Melody Hobson came on too.
Correct.
So
right.
if you want to watch them actually interact, very cool gal. So the big news. Here we go. Last week we apparently got what is supposedly the authentic confirmed casting list, the character breakdown for Star Wars Episode 7. So let me just kind of, and this came from Bleeding Cool. This came, I think June 19th, last Wednesday, I think, or sometime last week. But this is what Bleeding Cool apparently got from their anonymous Lucasfilm source. Someone from Lucasfilm, I guess, leaked it. But here we go. This is their casting breakdown. It goes for one character, a late teen female, independent, good sense of humor, fit. And there's a young 20-something male, witty and smart, fit but not traditionally good-looking. And there's another one, a late 20-something male, fit, handsome, and confident. And then there is a second young female, also late teens, tough, smart, and of course, fit. And there is a 70-something male with strong opinions and tough demeanor, also doesn't need to be particularly fit. So there's a 40-something male, fit, military type, and a 30-something male, intellectual, apparently doesn't need to be fit. So that's it. There are 7 characters that are being casted, if this is true. And this is for a casting breakdown for casting directors in London or England, the whole UK. This is what was sent to them, apparently. And I guess it will be a very similar thing for the casting to be done in North America and in the US. So this is it. We have 2, basically the most important things that people are talking about are the 4 young characters, the 2 girls and 2 boys. These 2 young, fit, handsome characters, or these 4 characters. So, don't know what this means. I mean, we had on the last show we talked about.
Well, we know they're going to be 2 of them are going to be twins.
If this and what we've heard before is true, yeah, 2 of them will be twins. Will be probably the solo twins.
Yes, solo
if
twins.
If that is true. So I don't know, because people were saying that this contradicts what we've heard before, but not necessarily. I mean, they could be talking about the twins, but I mean, or not. So we just don't know right now.
I think they could be the twins,
yeah,
and then it could be just their friends.
Yeah, or
2 other Jedis or something like that.
If Luke is married, that could be a Skywalker kid. I don't know. I don't think he will be married, but
I don't think he will be either.
Yeah.
I think Mara Jade could possibly be in it, but I don't think that it is going to be his wife.
Maybe. I'm hoping to be surprised though.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool. So we have some late teen characters and early 20 characters that will probably be the protagonists of the series, of the new trilogy, and which is strange because they asked for an older man, a 70-something, and a 40-something. I'm sure these are secondary characters, but the 70-something sounds it's very interesting because it sounds very like a Yoda or old Obi-Wan type character.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we all assume that Luke Skywalker would be that kind of mentor, wise old Jedi character. So I don't know if this is just another one of those characters or what that can mean, or maybe it's a villain. I don't know. The antagonist could be in this list as well. If we've got before, it's probably.
Were they asking for 70s?
70-something male, strong opinions. That could be something about this character. Strong opinions and a tough demeanor. So that could mean he's got a bit of a violent attitude. Maybe
could be,
I don't know.
or could be somebody that's head of the Republic now.
That's true. Very true.
I was trying to think of who could have taken over for Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
Whoever
Very
was
true.
next in line.
Yeah.
Apparently Leia maybe doesn't.
Maybe. This doesn't really help much in speculation.
No.
It kind of just expands it more because from the expanded universe, basically the main young kind of characters of the series are the Solo twins and Anakin Skywalker. Anakin Solo. Sorry, the 3 Solo children. So they're basically
and eventually Ben Skywalker.
Ben Skywalker, who comes much later. He's born, when the Solo twins are already full adults, basically. So he's a lot younger than all of them, unless they want to change that some, which is totally fine. I know probably other people would hate me for saying that, but yeah, I mean there's still limitless speculation that can be done about this casting list if it is true, and it seems like this. I mean, the source says that Lucasfilm confirmed that this is a real casting call. So until we hear from Lucasfilm themselves,
absolutely, yeah,
on StarWars.com or something like that, This is still, although it says to be confirmed, it's still not really confirmed.
Yeah.
But it's very exciting. I mean, all these fit descriptions kind of make me sad because I'm not that fit, so I can't really, unless I want to get in more shape, then looks like I'm going to be out of luck for being in the next Star Wars movie. But
God, I hope it's not
still
like
a chance.
Taylor Lautner.
Oh my gosh, he will audition. You know, everybody's going to audition.
Yes,
everybody
absolutely.
will. So, I mean, from J.J. Abrams, he'll cast relatively unknown actors.
Yeah.
That's what he has done in every movie before. Like in Super 8, I remember when he was casting, he sent out an open casting call across the whole United States. Basically, he wanted young kids to submit. He posted sides, auditioning sides, online, and you could download them, film yourself acting these sides, and submit the video to the casting director, and then you would get a call back if you were good. So I'm hoping something similar could happen with this. Maybe that would be so awesome because I don't want to fly to LA. I mean, if they have an open casting call like public, then I might have to fly over there. Or I just hope he has an online submission kind of thing. Which would be perfect. So I still think there's a chance I could be in it, but crossing my fingers. So this is, I mean, that's the big news.
Although
right now.
Star Trek, he obviously casted big names.
Yeah. Oh, like big names, but less still kind of not. They weren't A-listers at the time. I don't think really. I mean, they were just kind of. Some of them were.
Yeah.
Zoe Zadell was.
Zoe was. I mean, Quinto was just came off of Heroes.
Yeah.
So he was pretty well known, I think, in that universe. Anyway.
Chris Pine was
some stuff. Pretty established. Yeah. I mean, he wasn't the big action star he is now.
I didn't really know him that. Well,
I didn't really know. I knew. I think I knew something he was in prior to that. That
he was in some romantic comedies before that.
He was great in that movie Unstoppable. Did you ever see Unstoppable?
No, but that was after Star Trek, wasn't it?
Yeah, it came out right after.
Yeah,
but I love that movie.
He had some other he had. I can't remember. Kumar, was it Kumar? Or Helder Kumar?
He had Harold in there.
Harold in there.
John Cho.
Okay.
Yeah, John Cho is actually very popular.
Yeah, he was.
Like in that.
He absolutely was.
He did a lot of independent movies.
Yeah.
He was known for being the MILF guy in American Pie
And
movies.
Simon Pegg was a big one.
Simon Pegg was already a big star. And then, of course, Eric Bana.
Eric Bana and Bruce Greenwood.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had some big ones, but like the main guys were like known. It's almost like Henry Cavill. Like they were known, but not like
right.
So I'm hoping, Super 8, all those kids they're just about their first movies, especially the main kid. That was his first movie. He had Cal Chandler, but he still had these unknowns. So I'm hoping.
And that was the breakout for Fanning, right?
Ellie Fanning.
Yeah.
And much like the original Star Wars, I mean, besides Harrison Ford, those guys weren't totally known. So I'm hoping that they go for this new, because I would like to see a fresh face.
I'm hoping he gets Kyle Chandler in there. I like Kyle Chandler.
Cool. Yeah.
He's
really
cool
cool.
Guy.
I mean,
I wonder if you see any of those
guys.
Yeah, Star Trek. I doubt you see any Star Trek guys.
Yeah, I mean, the rumor was Simon Pegg would be in it, which he said he's not going to.
Yeah, I really don't think don't think any of those people will.
Maybe Tyler Perry will be in it. Tyler Perry. That'd be really interesting. But
because would you imagine that though? Like if you were
Star Trek,
you would go to both conventions. That's just wrong. That just sounds wrong.
I feel like they would get hated.
Yes.
So I don't even want to go if I was that person.
Like you would go to a signing at Star Wars convention and then next week I got to go to Star Trek convention. What? No.
Yeah.
So I don't think. I think that's. I think it's an immediate X. If you're in Star Trek, you're not in Star Wars.
Yeah. And then there's also to be said who's going to be casted as like a young Han Solo, because that was also confirmed by Lucasfilm. Although we all already knew, but this past week it was confirmed that there's going to be a Star Wars movie every year.
Yes.
So it was confirmed Boba Fett spinoff and a Han Solo spinoff. The Yoda spinoff is not confirmed. So I think they're saying that that's not going to happen
because of the Lego things.
But yeah, exactly. The Yoda Chronicles. So we still, who's going to be cast as young Han Solo? Who's going to be? I hope Daniel Logan will be Boba Fett.
Now I'm wondering how young they're talking about, because like I said, like we mentioned before, there is there's a trilogy of Expanded Universe books.
Yes.
That cover his entire life.
Right.
And if they stick to that, then they've got they can go anywhere, because I think he leaves Corellia when he's like 4 or 5 years old. and starts actually.
Yeah.
He leaves with this
I
main
mean-
villain guy.
Well, if what was supposed to happen with Han Solo in Episode 3, where he was supposed to be on Kashyyyk,
Right.
if that's happened, then that already knocks out some stuff, doesn't it?
It does.
So, I mean,
Yes.
if
But
that-
he didn't.
if that's still
so,
okay, I mean, I guess they didn't shoot it, so it didn't really happen.
Right.
But there is a while ago there's this interview with Lawrence Kasdan, who's working on Episode 7, who you all should know wrote the screenplay for Episode 5. He's working on Episode 7 with Michael Arndt, and the name of the third guy who's working on it escapes me. They have another
Yeah.
kind of consultant who did
Yeah. I can't remember either.
Sherlock Holmes. But he said that he's not going to really pull from Expanded Universe stuff.
No, I don't think they are.
Yeah.
I mean, they may pull names
That's what I would think,
in situations maybe, but
So
not.
do you think if they have twins in the movie, would you rather them just, even if they're totally separate characters from the books, like if you have boy and girl Solo twins, should they just go ahead and call them Jason and Jaina Solo, just so, or should they call them something totally different because the characters,
Did they haven't confirmed the names?
they haven't confirmed any of that. I mean, Lucasfilm has not said anything really, but I'm just like, 'cause I was-
Wasn't there? So there wasn't this. I thought there was something about it mentioned about the Solo.
Yeah, there
twins.
is. Like the source says, we heard from Lucasfilm that this is true, kind of thing. But Lucasfilm, we never got like a
Yeah,
press
okay.
release or anything. So, because I was really debating about this, like if they have a Solo twins, Jason and Jaina, but they are totally different from the characters we know from the novels. Like, I think I don't know. Would I be more mad because they have the same names but not the same personalities, or would I rather them? Or would I be more mad if they were twins with different names, but the same personalities or something? You know what I'm saying?
I think I would be more mad if they renamed them, honestly,
Yeah,
because even though the stories that we know of them right now may end up being non-canon,
yeah,
there's still that like it could have happened kind
Yeah.
of thing.
yeah,
But if they're completely different named, then that means everything is done. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Expanded Universe is completely
yeah,
non irrelevant.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
Which I could be. I mean, I'm okay with that. I guess.
I guess I am too, in a sense. So it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But
I want to know.
but I would
people-
think just for fans, I think it
Yeah.
would be cool to name them.
absolutely. Let's think too if they had a Mara Jade character who may not necessarily be the Mara Jade we know, but the name that would
Right.
still be a cool nod. Now I want as many nods as possible too, because that'd be really cool. But like, all these obscure characters that we know from the Expanded Universe. But
I mean, it seems
Yeah.
like it's pretty inevitable that if one falls, that they're going to become Darth. Was it Cadmus or
whatever.
something?
How do you-
Cadus.
Yeah, Caedus. I think is how you spell it.
I mean, that's probably in the cards, I would
Yeah.
think. So now, if they change that, then
Darth something else.
Yeah, Darth something else could be different. But
Yeah,
then again, how are they even going to know about the Rule of Two if it hasn't been around?
well, that's the
You know
thing.
what I mean? There's probably a Sith holocron somewhere
Yeah, but-
that
yeah.
could say it. But
Yeah.
that person, whoever falls,
Yeah.
if it's Jason, then they would have to find that or get told that or get
Yeah.
I don't know if they train them on that stuff. The Jedi's
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, I'm sure Luke.
They probably say like
Yeah.
these are the ultimate
Yeah.
enemies of the Jedi.
Yeah. Because in
This is
the
possible.
Expanded Universe, there are still Dark Jedi around,
Right.
and some Sith around. So, and actually, the planet Yavin, where the Rebel base was, that's where Luke established the new academy
Mm-hmm.
in that same temple. And that temple is on that planet. There's another temple that has like a lot of dark side residue, just like on Dagobah. So maybe something if they go with that, there could be something there. I don't know. It's just so much.
So much. But sooner or later we are going to find
Yeah.
out. And maybe Celebration might be a big
Do you think this celebration will get some good news?
I think we'll get some because
Yeah.
I mean you can't have Carrie Fisher, you can't have Mark Hamill come up on stage for an interview and them not say anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got to believe that and here's the thing too, I really think that they're going to walk on stage and they're going to look great because they've been
I'm
like
excited.
working out
Yeah.
and like with personal trainers
Yeah.
and chefs and stuff like that, getting thin
Yeah.
and getting so. I bet you Carrie's going to look fantastic.
I've been having to defend them to my friends. Like, they're
Yes.
like out of shape. Like, she doesn't look like a princess anymore. Like, well, I mean, I read an interview where she says they sent a trainer to her house to like.
Oh, I believe
get
it.
her in shape.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
So-
you want to be in this movie?
Yeah.
This is what you got to look like.
Disney will get you, and they are very, it's very corporate, so they're gonna
Totally.
mold you to how they want you.
Yeah, she's gonna look She's gonna look honestly, and I hate to say it. I mean, I love Carrie Fisher. I love Princess Leia, but like to be honest, she's gonna look probably 10 years younger when they're done with her, and Mark too. I think Hamill's gonna look. They're gonna look younger, even though they're supposed to be whatever their age is, 30 years later, something like that, 50s. But they're a little older than that right now, right? So I think Mark's close to 60. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Harrison is 60 something, or he's 70.
I think 70.
He's around George Lucas's age.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're all up there in age. So I think they're all going to get healthy and get in shape, and I think they're going to be. I mean, to be honest, Harrison doesn't never look his age.
No,
you know what I mean?
He's all right though. He's good right now.
He's good to go. He's good to go. So obviously, we'll have a lot to talk about once this stuff comes around. So anyway, let's wrap this up with some trivia. We currently stand at 7-6, both of us, after 13 questions.
Yep.
And this week's question from Obsessed with Star Wars, the 2,500 question book we have here, comes from the question number 1733.
Good year.
Which is going to be part of the original trilogy, I think. And it's going to be in the, looks like Empire Strikes Back era.
Alrighty then.
All right, here we go. 1733 in the Empire Strikes Back era. Are you ready, Case?
Yes. Ready.
Okay.
This is a crazy one.
No, I think it's pretty easy.
Dang it.
What did Yoda levitate out of the water?
Okay. Let's do it.
A, his landing pod.
Yeah.
B, a dragon snake. C, Luke's X-Wing. Or D, R2-D2.
Out of the swamp.
What did Yoda levitate out of the water?
The water. Okay. Let's let the audience answer this. Okay. Well, I'm going with the X-Wing.
I am going to go with the X-Wing as well because that's right.
Yes.
Yeah. So another easy one in a sense.
Yeah.
A couple of easy ones back to back there to kind of get us back on track.
To reestablish our titles.
So we don't fall underneath, under 500 here.
Yeah.
So we are both 8 and 6 now through 14 questions. All right. Not as that trivia thing might not be working out the way I.
That's all right.
planned, but it's all right.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Sorry,
we'll get
guys, if you haven't been glued to your seats.
Yeah.
As you should, as you hopefully were, but whatever.
All right. So that wraps up Rebel Alliance month.
Yes.
That was pretty cool. Our first themed month.
Good. I like it.
Yeah. I think we're going to stick to this. So next month, the month of July, what are we doing? What are we theming?
Bounty hunters.
Bounty hunters. It is Bounty Hunter month, the month of July. So what we're gonna do is, and it seems like if I'm looking ahead right here, actually there's 5 Tuesdays in July.
Whoa!
So we're gonna have 5 bounty hunters.
Count them 5.
5 bounty hunters. We've got some in mind that we're definitely gonna do.
Yeah.
But if you want, tweet us.
Absolutely.
Email us, tweet our personal accounts, whatever. Tell us what bounty hunter you would like us to profile. Just to name a few that we're interested in is Greedo, Aura Singh. We're not going to do Boba Fett and Jango.
No.
They're pretty much established since from the movies. Dengar, IG-88, Cad Bane, Bosk. Who else we got?
Dengar, did you say Dengar?
Yeah, Dengar. I actually had
there are some.
I actually had a list of them here, right here.
Other ones. I mean, there's some from the Clone Wars. Besides Cad Bane, there's some other guys in there that are pretty cool. There's that one dude with that kind of Raiden style tin hat, whatever that he throws all over the place. But
oh right, yeah, that's right.
But there is some other ones like that. I'm trying to think. One's from like the expanded universe, but Can't think of any.
Well, I got
Would Zam Wessel be considered a bounty hunter? Zam, the changeling?
Yes, she is on this list. There's four. The number 4 Lam. He was one of the. He was that guy, that big thick guy with the almost looked like a Tusken Raider. He was standing on the bridge of the So we said Cad Bane, Dengar, Dirge. You remember Dirge from Clone Wars?
Name, yeah.
He was from Clone Wars.
Yes. Okay. Gotcha.
Greedo, we said IG-88. Zam Wessel.
And I'm sure the scene in A New
Zuckuss.
Hope, the scene in New Hope when Han Solo goes to the docking bay to see Jabba, and there's like a lot of other bounty hunters. I wonder if those guys too have a lot of histories. I bet
they probably do. Yeah, they're all somehow connected to the Hutts, I think.
Okay,
in a sense. I mean, they're all on their own, but the Hutts are the ones that hire them a lot. Right. That's why they're all hanging out at Jabba's place. So anyway, so we're gonna do Rebel Alliance month, and I think one of the first ones we do is probably going to be either like a Greedo or a Singh or a Bosk or something like that. But let us know if you want us to hit on any that you're interested in, and then we'll line them up. We got 5 of them, so we got 5 bounty hunters we're going to hit on this month in July. So check that out, and you can listen to all of them at InsideTheForce.com. Follow us on Twitter at InsideTheForce. We tweet out every episode. You can just click on the link and listen right there. Or you can subscribe to us on YouTube, or not YouTube, on iTunes and our RSS feed. Our RSS feed is InsideTheForce.com/feed. Put that in your feed reader and get every episode up to date as they come out. Every Tuesday, we are Inside the Force. All right, so for Casey Cooley.
Oh, I'm afraid the deflector shield will be quite operational when your friends arrive. My favorite Rebel-related quote.
That's very good. Yes. That's very good. All right. So thanks for joining us for Rebel Alliance Month. Come back next week when we start Bounty Hunter Month on Inside the Force. I'm David Cottingham, and may the Force be with you.
This has been a production of the 21 Network, a collection of weekly podcasts. For more great podcasts, visit 21network.com. To view additional content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/21network. Follow us on Twitter at 21network for the latest news and updates. The 21 Network, for the fan and all of us.